Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Lin-Manuel Miranda's groundbreaking musical Hamilton has come to Broadway's Richard Rodgers Theatre following a sold-out run at the Public Theatre. And we're here on opening night to celebrate with Lin and company. It is opening night Broadway. What was today like for you?
Today I just made mixes for my cast. That's been my tradition. With Heights I made mixed CDs, but people don't listen to CDs anymore. So I made a bunch of USB ports and flash drives with the Hamilton logo, and I made a personalized mix for every member of our company. And that's a great way to spend today. You know, this is such a dream come true. It's nice to spend your day thinking about other people and the other people who helped you get here.
The whole journey of Hamilton has been like this from like the very first day of rehearsal. Like, what do you think when you see it all happening, the way it affects people, the audience?
It's so much bigger than me, and it's a credit to these incredible collaborators. You know, Tommy Kail, who pushes us every step of the way. Tommy, Andy, and Alex really sort of own hemispheres of my brain at this point, and the way we push each other to be better. You know, there are movement moments that came from Alex or me. There are cuts that came from Alex. There are lyrics that came from ideas sprung from Tommy or Andy. It's such a blur of our work, and that's the real power here. That's not me. It's us.
Did you know when you put together your In the Heights family that you would be together the way you are?
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, the success of that show allowed us so much, and it allowed us also to go in different directions and try new things. You know, Andy, Alex and I did Bring It On together. I worked with Tommy on various other things, like Freestyle of Supreme. But then when we came back together, there's such a shorthand. And shorthand's essential when you're making something this big.
Then I want to talk about the audience's reaction. I mean, we were all blown away downtown. I mean, I left the first time totally speechless. I had no words to describe how I felt after leaving that theater. What it must be like for you, the way it affects audiences, and you get to meet them afterwards at the stage door, what that means to you.
Well, what makes me really happy and grateful is that I think they're feeling the way I felt when I read the book. And my enthusiasm in telling this story in the way I wrote it and in the way we've presented it is coming across. So I've honored Ron's work, and hopefully I've honored Hamilton's life. You know, Hamilton was buried by history for a very long time, and I think there's a lot to be proud of in him, and I hope he is proud.
Ron is over the moon. I asked him, I said, did you think when you wrote this book that someone like Lin-Manuel would come to you and turn it into this groundbreaking musical? And he said, every day is a new day for me. I mean, it gets better and better. Yeah,
Ron has been such an ally and such an asset. You know, other historians, when you say, I want to make a rap musical of your book, I don't know that they would have the same enthusiasm that Ron did, but Ron just greeted the idea from day one and was a real collaborator in terms of making this thing the best thing it could be, and as historically accurate as it is musical and all the other things.
And this brilliant cast you've assembled, and so many of them making their Broadway debuts.
Oh, I know. I just can't wait to see what Pippa Sue's next thing is going to be, or Anthony Ramos, or Jasmine, or David. It's so exciting. You know, and we felt that with Heights. I was making my debut with Heights. Half of our cast was making our debut with Heights. And there's such an energy when you bring that kind of, you know, because it becomes family so quickly.
My final question is, when you took your bow tonight, do you remember what you were thinking?
Oh gosh, I was thinking, I hope I have my speech in my pocket. No, I was just really in the moment. I was just letting it wash over me. Worked a very long time to get here, and I'm very happy to be here.
You look stunning. You all blew me away again. 2 nights ago I was there. I know you did. I was like, I was speechless after the show again. It's a very special Broadway opening tonight for Hamilton. How do you feel?
I feel like it hasn't really registered yet. I've been spending a lot of time trying to just experience and receive what is like the biggest whopping blessing of my life, other than my family. And so yeah, this is another moment where I'm just trying to be a vessel for whatever I could say that shares it with other people. I feel like it's an honor when something really special happens to you, that you should probably share it as much as possible with everybody else. I've always appreciated vicariously experiencing my friends do amazing, wonderful things. So I got on social media. I'm doing anything I can to bring as many people along for the ride with me as possible.
This is such a special show. I mean, this is groundbreaking in every way, with the material, with the casting. I mean, playing this role, what it means to you.
I was thinking about my mother today because she's in the house. She flew in for the opening, because I was trying to imagine why it feels so easy to play a woman that's so strong and so beautiful and so sacrificially loving and sometimes so underestimated, maybe. And just with my mother's presence in the house, I felt very much like that's why this is easy for me, because I grew up watching her.
My final question is, when you took your bow tonight, do you remember what you were thinking?
I honestly was thinking, I never look around at the audience to see who's there, but in the curtain call, I was first of all looking for my son, because my 6-year-old son Benjamin was there. I was looking for my husband, I was looking for my parents, I was looking for my little brothers and my mother-in-law. I was looking, and then I started doing a little looking for famous people and friends, because I cannot express to you how much love they were giving to us through the entire show. Sometimes opening nights can feel a little hoity-toity and a little stiff. This was not that. This was a group of people that were in love with the show, and they were just a part of the experience with us. It was amazing.
I'm so happy for you. Welcome back to Broadway, my love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's opening night. First of all, welcome home to Broadway. How does it feel?
It feels incredible. It feels incredible to be on Broadway, and it feels incredible to be a part of this musical sensation. It's completely surreal.
I mean, you probably had no idea. I mean, Brian started this downtown, and now all of a sudden, you're one of the co-stars on Broadway in this magical show.
Yeah, I feel like I won the lottery, because I agreed to replace Brian at the Public. I thought it was going to be a month and a half. I didn't know anything about the show, or I hadn't heard anything or seen anything when I said yes. And I saw the show off Broadway, and I was like, I'm going to be in that? I mean, it is an extraordinary piece of theater, and I feel so lucky to be a part of it in this moment.
Such a beautiful role that Lin has written for you. And the songs, I mean, tell me what it's like playing him.
It's a blast. I mean, Lin is such a genius writer. He's a genius in so many ways, but such a genius writer. And I get to benefit from that. In the role of King George, the sort of placement of his songs and his moments in the show comes just at the right time. It's like he's written the songs. You don't have to do anything except walk out on stage and wear the costume and sing the music. He's written it so perfectly.
What's it like stopping the show every night?
It's amazing. I feel like every moment of the show, and tonight at opening night, every person walked on stage and got applause, and you really feel the sort of like historic moment of the show tonight. It's just unreal.
I mean, you've been a part of groundbreaking musicals. I mean, Spring Awakening and now Hamilton. These are like groundbreaking, life-changing musicals.
Yeah, and I feel, in particular with Hamilton, and this is when Obama came to see the show, he came back at intermission, and the first thing he said to us was, a lot of people make things that are great or really wonderful, and people don't find out about it until way later, or people never find out about it until it's over. And you should all be taking in the fact that you've made something great and that people are responding to it from the very beginning. And I think that's really stuck with all of us, that we feel incredibly grateful to be embraced in such a big way from the jump.
And working with Lin and the cast on stage, what that is like.
I share, like, Lin and I are in the Idina Menzel suite that she was in during If Then, and we're calling it the year that we shared a studio apartment in Midtown, and so just to be involved in such a trenches way, in such a beautiful, wonderful show it's just a gift.
So when you took your bow tonight, do you remember what you were thinking?
Yeah, I felt emotional, and I remember thinking, remember this moment. This is a moment in history where 50 years from now, I think, in the history of musical theater, people will be talking about this night, and so I just really tried to take it in while we were standing there.
First of all, happy birthday! How does it feel?
I feel like a greedy fat kid, you know, like. I feel like it's greedy to be my birthday today, but it is, and so I'm so grateful and happy. Maybe my wedding day comes close, it's euphoric.
A birthday, an incredible opening on Broadway. I mean, what was today like for you?
So a lot of energy surrounds an opening. My wife is here, my grandmother's here, who's never seen the show, my parents have never seen the show. So I was a little unfocused. I couldn't find my center at the start, but I decided to, what got me right for the show was thinking about Tommy out there and his family and friends, and Andy and his family and friends, and they've never seen the show. So to present their work to the people that they love, I owed them that. And so that got me back in the show, thank goodness.
You're so incredible at what you do. What is it like playing Aaron Burr?
It's such a ride. Lin has written him with such heart and compassion. And it's all there. It's all in the text. I mean, I know people compare Lin to Shakespeare. He doesn't do that himself, but I will. I can tell you as an actor playing it from the inside, you know, you just don't have to do anything. You don't have to ornament it. It works. It works if you're a little tired. It works if you're a little injured. And that's a gift that he's given to hopefully generations and generations of young actors who will play these parts.
And what's it like working with him on stage, sparring with Lin?
It's a little nerve-wracking, you know, when you get a word wrong or two. Like I flubbed a line or two tonight. You're like, oh God, I hope he's not pissed. But he's also an incredible actor. You know, I've worked with him for a couple years now on this. We did Tick Tick Boom together, and I love him because, you know, that he's an improv guy, you know, so you never know what you're gonna get. He keeps you on your toes, and Lin he's an animal, and so that brings out the best in the people he's across from.
And the way this show has touched audiences, I mean, downtown I was totally speechless. I had nothing to say. You guys moved me so much. And now up here, what it means to you, the way it touches audiences.
I feel the same way about the show that the audiences do, and you don't always have that in this business, so I'm very lucky.
My final question is, when you took your bow tonight, do you remember what you were thinking?
I was thinking, look at these faces. Take in these faces. Hal Binkley, David Corns, you know, Nevin, Tom, you know, as they're coming on stage, look at their faces, remember this moment. I was trying to see, did I recognize anybody in the audience, you know, friends and family, just trying to remember it all.
So there is nothing like this family. This is a really special show. Tell me what's made this so special for you, Chris.
There's nothing that, you know, family knows each other and loves each other in spite of each other, you know, like there's never been a day when we've walked in the door and not known exactly what we were there to accomplish. And I think once you get to a point with a group of people, such a large group, you can't duplicate that in any other profession the way that you can in the theater.
It happened twice for you. I mean, in the Heights and now this with the same group.
Yeah, well, he keeps calling me with jobs. He keeps writing me parts. Are you kidding me? That didn't happen to anybody. Yeah, I consider myself pretty damn fortunate to love him as much as he loves, you know, as much as he loves me. It's great.
This is such a groundbreaking piece of work. What is it like performing this show with this company and with Lin?
Oh, it's like going and tell the story. It's like, you know, there's an order to it. There's a process, and it honors so much of the literal historical fact that it allows you to just kind of track through the progression in a beautiful way.
Did you know the story of Hamilton very well before you got involved in this?
No, I'd be lying if I said I did, and I thought I knew Washington fairly well until I, you know, cracked Mr. Cherno's book, and then it just changed everything. These were dynamic, incredible people.
So what was it like when he came to you and said, you're going to play George Washington?
We can't really nail down the exact time. I think we might have been on stage when it happened, but I remember that it did happen, and then Tommy came up to me a couple of days later and said, Mr. President. And I was like, oh, that thing. Okay, yeah, you're talking about George Washington. All right, yeah, okay. I don't know. But
and then the audience, I mean, here you are. I mean, we fell in love with this downtown. I was speechless when I saw this downtown. I was speechless again the other night. Just the emotional journey you all take us on, what it means to you, the way you affect an audience with this show.
It's a really beautiful thing, and I tell people all the time, like, seeing the cast and the makeup of the cast I would like to think that it gives a lot of people, it opens their minds to the possibilities of thinking about things differently.
Sure.
Just at face value, not to mention, you know, hearing these people speak and seeing the things that they were going through. I think once you accomplish that, you accomplish the magic of theater. You know, and that changes lives. It's a beautiful thing.
When you took your bow tonight, do you remember what you were thinking?
I was thinking that my older sister, who has never been to a premiere or an opening, finally made it tonight, and she sat there next to my mother, And my family was in the house, but that family's so big because it includes his family and my friend Bill Sherman's family and Lack's family and Tommy's family. So it's always a family affair at these things, and it's always the best possible thing you could ever hope for.
Well, I saw you earlier. You look stunning tonight.
Thank you so much.
It is your Broadway debut. How do you feel?
I feel like I'm on cloud nine, but at the same time, like I feel so at home. This community has been nothing but supportive and very welcoming to me, and I am so grateful for that.
And to make your Broadway debut in this musical, I mean, when you first found out from Lin you were doing this, what went through your mind?
I was like, who's Eliza? Who is this woman? And it's become an amazing journey in discovering who she was and telling her story, and I feel honored that I get to be the one to do that.
And working with this brilliant cast, working with Lin, working with Renee.
So much fun. We were on the bus on the way here. We were just laughing, being like, where are we? Like, what are we doing? And it's just such a beautiful moment to just check in and celebrate. And tonight, I mean, this is for all of us. This is like a celebration for the entire community of what is going to happen to the theater.
And how this show is touching audiences, what that means to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible because I feel very close to people after they've seen the show. And, you know, they're fans or strangers or people that I've known for a very long time, and somehow we both feel closer because of it.
So when you took your bow tonight, Broadway debut, do you remember what you were thinking?
Oh gosh, I don't really remember what I was thinking. I feel like it takes me a while to like kind of get out of the show, but I remember looking out and just feeling so comfortable in front of all of those people. It was beautiful.
Like I said, you are stunning on the carpet and you are stunning in the show. How does it feel tonight, opening night on Broadway?
All your dreams come true and more, and even bigger than I've ever dreamed of in my life. I'm so happy and honored and blessed to be here. Yeah.
To be a part of Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda. I mean, how did you find out, and what were you thinking when they told you?
Well, I found out I was the last person to basically audition for the public part. So I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I didn't hear the rest of the music. I just heard only certain parts. So I didn't really know exactly what this was. And then after I got it, I listened to everything and I was like, oh my God, this is insane, and it's history, and it's game changing. Yeah.
And playing this role, tell me what it's like playing her.
Well, the two roles, Peggy and Mariah, one's the very innocent, curious youngest sister, and the other one is the one that Hamilton has an affair with. And they're two completely different characters, so it's very fun to do all like the spectrum and to like grow through the play and play these two completely different women. It's exciting.
And working with Lin and the cast on stage, what that means to you?
It means the world to me, honestly. These people have become my family, and I've learned so much from the cast, and we've all worked so hard to get to where we are, and we're so grateful, and we're all fans of each other. So it's a blessing.
So when you took your bow tonight on Broadway at Hamilton, do you remember what you were thinking?
I started crying, and I was like, I can't believe that I'm living this moment and the dream, basically.
Congratulations. How do you feel tonight?
I feel great. I'm excited. I'm happy. It's good to have like all the people you care about and love with and have worked with for so long now, like relaxing and having fun. And I'm hungry. That's been the thing I've been saying. I can use some food, but other than that, I'm great.
And what it means to you to be a part of this show, working on Hamilton, working with Lin and the cast.
It just means like, you know, I put all my eggs in the right basket. You know, you as an actor, you know, you work as hard as you can, and you pray that you get something that'll showcase your talents, that you enjoy, that you're working with great people, that people will respond to, that people will appreciate the way you appreciate. And I kind of feel like we got the golden ticket here. It has all of those factors and all of those things. So I couldn't be happier, to quote another musical.
Hey, when you took your bow tonight on Broadway in Hamilton, do you remember what you were thinking?
Yeah, this makes sense. I thought everything made sense. Their reaction, the people who are on here, all of it, the party that I'm anticipating, all of this like makes sense and is kind of part of the plan.
Congratulations. Thank you. Broadway debut. How do you feel tonight?
I'm like very, very energized. My skin is tingling. It's great. Yeah.
What was today like for you leading up to tonight?
It was really very calm. My family was at the house, you know, I had friends coming in from all over the place, so we just sat around and told jokes, and you know, I brushed my teeth and went to the theater.
I love it. Everybody stayed so calm today.
Yeah. Well, what's great, I think, about getting to do the show for so long off Broadway and then having such a wonderful preview and rehearsal process is that tonight was another show. It was a great audience and a really fun crowd, but the show we did is the show we do every night, so.
So what was it like when you found out you were doing this Lin-Manuel Miranda musical?
You know, it's been such a long process, and I've been attached to it for so long from the early readings and stuff that this has been part of my life for 3 years, since before there was a second act. So this feels like it's like a child going off to college or something. You know, there's this thing we've been taking care of for a long time, and now it's out in the world in a way that it hasn't been before. So it feels very precious, but also we're so excited. We're so excited to be sharing it.
And playing these two roles that you play, how exciting that is.
It's the most. It's the most. Getting to really experience the building of America in two very distinct and different ways every night is kind of phenomenal, and I didn't think about that much while we were building up to it, but really in the doing of it, that's what it is, and that's the great thing about being in this show.
So when you took your bow tonight, Broadway debut, do you remember what you were thinking?
I was thinking about my brother, about my little brother who's not here tonight, but he's in Austin, and my whole family really, but my brother has sacrificed a lot, as everybody has, so that I can be here. And so all of those people were the people in my mind, but specifically my brother tonight.
Congratulations. I'm here for your second opening night here on Broadway. How do you feel tonight?
It couldn't be more thrilling. You know, every time I think that nothing more wonderful could happen, something does. You know, we've had so many wonderful things have happened in the last 6 months with this show. But I have to keep reminding myself, this is only the beginning. This is opening night. You know, we've had such a full and rich experience, dazzling performances, amazing people coming to see the show. The show has just become more and more of a phenomenon, and it continues to grow.
Did you ever think when you wrote this book that someone like Lin would come to and turn this into a musical?
No, this has really been the most unexpected and implausible and delightful thing that's ever happened in my career. It's really been a dreamlike and surreal experience. It's hard to explain it.
What is it like for you sitting in the audience watching how this musical and your story touches people?
There's nothing more thrilling than to see, you know, Lin-Manuel Miranda take these characters and relationships and events and bring them to this vivid and three-dimensional life. You know, he's been very faithful to the book. He's humanized it, he's dramatized it, he's infused it, this extraordinary creative energy. I really think it's a masterpiece.
So when the cast took their bow tonight, what were you thinking?
I was thinking this is one of the greatest nights of my life, you know, and I also feel so close to the cast. You know, I've developed almost a fatherly feeling about them. You know, I'm twice as old as most of the people in the cast, and I think that the greatest thrill has been seeing Lin-Manuel translate the book into this incredible show. But a close second is just getting to know all of these, you know, young Black and Latino and Eurasian and biracial cast members. I think that probably I seem as exotic to them as they seem to me. It's just been a great experience, you know, socially, culturally, you name it.